Blessings, 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 my sports to the bone people. Back at it again with another video. Thank you all for checking this one out. Hope everybody's doing okay. Hope you're all having a magnificent Friday. Yes, my people, jumping straight into the weekend. I tell you, so much needed rest, my viewers and subscribers. Anyway, I have a couple of things to look at in this one. Now, over the past few days, CWI, they sent out the test squad that will be taking on India, and they also sent out the the T20 squad that will be taking on Nepal. Now, we see where Coach Darren Sammy, he has actually given us some information as it relates to how difficult it is to select a West Indies team, because we have players that are you will want to pick them, but they'll tell you that they're not available. And based on what we're seeing here, Hetty was selected for this tour, and he basically told him that he needed a break, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll let you hear what Sammy said. It seems as if Sammy is really frustrated right now as it relates to a lot of players not being available. We also see where Reds Pereira, was talking a bit about the West Indies test squad. He spoke about Kyrie Peer and the fact that he has never played test cricket. Man also spoke about Jason Hola, saying that Justin Graves has been included even though he's carrying an injury. So this is probably CWI letting Jason Hola know that he will only be selected for T20 cricket. So go and talk about all of that. Plus he mentioned something about Shamar Joseph that I want to share. Let's give a listening ear to the end, my people, and you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So, as you guys are probably aware by now, quite a few of the usual first team players have been rested as the West Indies take on Nepal in these 3 T20 games, where the likes of Sheffield, Rutherford, Ravman Powell, Moti, Romaro, Shepherd, all of these guys have been rested. And we see that they have called up quite a few young faces, young in age and also young when it comes on to the international scene. Now, we see where apparently Hetty was selected, but he told him that he is not available, right? And we know that Hetty, it would be nice to see him, being one of the senior players on this tour. We see the sort of form that he is in the CPL, has had a couple of good innings. His last few games for the West Indies is not like he really scored a whole lot of runs. So, it would have been a perfect opportunity for him to go out there as a senior player and help to guide the team. Well, man said that he's not available. So this is what Darren Sammy said, my people. And as I said, it seems as if Sammy is really frustrated right now, not only with the Hetty situation, but with players wanting to select certain players and them not being available. At the end of the day, especially if these players are not under contract, there is hardly anything that CWI can do. And then again, CWI said that they have a system that they use to select players. So if you call up this man and he's not available, the system should spit out the next player that is next. That would be the next best. So this is Darren Sammy, and I quote, Hetty also requested that he was unavailable for the Nepal trip. So again, like I said, it's not always a bed of roses. Not always a bed of roses. Some things we don't see, but it's always a challenge. I have said that when I call somebody and tell them you've been selected for some of the series, and I have the task, and I have to ask everyone, do you accept the selection to play for West Indies? End quote for now. So Sammy is saying that, listen, he has to call them whenever they are selected and then ask them, do you accept the task? Do you accept the challenge? Do you accept this call? I mean, gone are the days when people would give an arm and leg to be selected to go and play without that arm and a leg, right? Man is saying that when he calls them, he has to turn around and say, do you accept the call? Do you accept the task? He went on to say, it's something that I must do because we don't own players. We could only select from what's available to us. Hetty has been one of our promising talented players from under 19 level. However, the scope of things that now we could own the select and hope guys accept this selection. But he's always available for a selection from our side, right? So he's saying that where West Indies cricket is concerned, they're always ready to select him. But you know, if he's not available, they can do nothing about it, right? And it's two sides to it, my people, because you know, sometimes you look and you might say that boy, a man scoring runs or a man taking wicket, and you'd expect them to get a call and they don't get a call. Then you hear that it's because they don't fit into the system or there is no role for them, even though they would have picked up a lot of wickets or scored some runs in the tournaments that they are asked to do so in. So you know, sometimes I tell you, it's really difficult when certain players, you want them to play and you know they continue saying they are not available. But some of these guys, they have been beaten by CWI before, so they won't necessarily go 100 out to really say, yeah, let they do this or that where CWI is concerned. So that is the Hetmyer situation. Can hear the frustration in Sammy's voice, but at the same time, players are looking at their own interests, you know. So I just saw the thing said. Just to finish up, my people, I was listening to an interview where Joseph Reds Pereira was talking about the test team. And you know, I didn't 100% agree with what he was saying about Kyrie Pierre. He's right, yes, that Kyrie Pierre has never played overseas, red ball cricket overseas, test cricket overseas. As a matter of fact, he has never played test cricket at home. You know, he would be making his debut. So he's saying that he's not too sure about that. But what I will say is that Kyrie Pierre has done a lot of work. You know, I'm not saying he's going to be successful, but if they are resting Moti, I have no problem with them selecting somebody like Kyrie Pierre. Not only has he been playing for a while, you understand, he's been playing different formats. You know, so I can't at the selection. You know, obviously you don't know what's going to happen. You know, but sometimes a lot of teams select players to go overseas. I mean, it's overseas. It's in conditions where you definitely need out and out spinners. But if you don't have more access to Moti and you're not Hussein, you know, you have to go with who you have. It might be you might end up having to make a man make his debut, but you know, I just saw the thing said. Sometimes players will have to make debuts against top teams. I just saw the thing said, you know. He also spoke about Justin Graves, saying that Justin Graves is injured and they still opted to select him. So it's probably a case where they are saying to Jason Holder that your test career is over. They haven't really outrightly said so, but you know, Justin Graves, as we know, you know, had to they rule him out of the remainder of CPL, and you know, don't know if he would be fully fit by the time this test series comes around. But with Jason Holder fully fit and available, and thing, you know, them not selecting him might be saying he's not a part of the plan. So you know, that's something Joseph Reds Pereira was saying. He also spoke about Shamar Joseph, saying that there is some word coming out that, you know, Joseph actually dove and took a catch, right, and apparently landed awkwardly on his shoulder. So based on what they're saying, you know, he might be favoring that shoulder a bit. So that might be something else that we need to look into in terms of if he's going to be fully fit and available to go up against India. But yeah, those are my couple of the things that I wanted to touch on. You can let me know your thoughts. Big up.